So, guys, one of the most important things you can have, one of the most important things you can instill in your child is imagination. The ability to imagine a world, a circumstance, a scenario where it is possible, where anything's possible. Your success, your failure, even, that way you could prevent it. You could see a possibility for your downfall. That way you take the proper steps to not have such a downfall. And wherever you are in life, you could always imagine it be better. You could always imagine a way out. Because that's where it starts, right? That's where any action starts. That's where any graduate degree becomes achieved. That's where anything that can be accomplished starts with that seed. You have to think it first. You have to picture it in your mind. You have to plant that seed in order for it to come into fruition, right? You plant the seed, you water it with action over time. You have the thought, which is the seed. You plant it, and then over time you take more action, more action, more action, and then you look up and boom, you have a big beautiful tree, plant, whatever you want to say, right? So, imagination. One of the most important skills, maybe. One of the most important things you could have, and one of the most important things to instill in your child at an early age, that no matter how hard it gets, no matter what the circumstances look like, it can always be better. The ability to dream of a better life, and like I said, even a worse life, that way you could avoid those things. Now, I want to tie that in to last UFC event that was Saturday, so 2 nights ago. Now, a lot of talk about this guy, Renato Moicano. In the co-main event, Rafael Dos Anjos, Renato Moicano. These guys, a lot of heart by these guys that step in that cage. Anybody who steps in that cage, a lot of heart. But Moicano specifically, he really showcased his heart. He was taking a beating. He was out of the fight. He lost every round. And people were saying that the doctor shouldn't have let it go into the fifth round. People were saying that the referee should have stopped it before it went into the fifth round. People were saying that the corner even should have stopped it before going into the fifth round, because of course, as the fighter, you're a warrior. You're not gonna stop the fight. Well, I'll say this: if you step into that modern day gladiator coliseum, because that's what it is. That's what it is. It's modern day coliseum, right? If you have the courage and all of these things to step into this, to the chamber of truth, as many people call it, these guys are ready for that. These guys know what it is. These guys know. They train hard. They experience injuries. They know what it is. And if the fighter really wants out, he'll get out. You've seen fighters tap the strikes. You've seen fighters straight up tell their corner, I can't go out there. They'll find a way out if they want out. Renato Moicano did not want out. Renato Moicano wanted and deserved the opportunity to finish that fight. He started the fight. He had the opportunity to finish it as well, and he deserved that. And with that said, he rocked RDA in the fifth round. I mean, it wasn't the biggest. Oh, he hurt him in the world. You didn't hear Joe Rogan screaming or nothing like that too much, but you definitely saw RDA's legs wobble. You definitely saw him eat a few more punches than he did in the first couple rounds of the fight. And so to tie that into the imagination is we've seen guys have comebacks like Darren Elkins, like Anderson Silva, like, the list goes on and on and on. Comebacks happen in this sport. Comebacks happen in a lot of sports. Should we just call now I know, there's health concerns in MMA, there's that and the third, but I'll get to that in a second. Let me not go too all over the place. In baseball, if you're down 8 runs, should we just call it before the 9th inning because, they're down 8 runs, the game is over, it's over? No, because sometimes the other team will score 9. So now, well, that's a bad example because in baseball, there's no head trauma and there's no this and there's no that. There's the health concerns, all this, right? This is fighting. Okay, great. It's fighting. But you don't think Renato Moicano knows it's fighting? You don't think he knows that? You don't think he signed up for that? You don't think he's dreamed about that, about the opportunity to showcase his toughness, to showcase these things? These guys know what they're signing up for, man. And to me, it's very disingenuous to take part in a sport where you're gonna punch each other in the face, kick each other in the head, elbow each other, pick people up, slam them down, all this stuff that's really rough on the body. The inherent goal of the game, the point of the game is to hurt your opponent, right? That's the point of the game of fighting. It's disingenuous to then all of a sudden put our humanitarian hats on and say, the fight should have been stopped and, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. It's disingenuous, and we all need to look at what we're actually doing and what we're actually watching and realize what we're watching. I think it makes people feel better when they do that. I think people, it makes them in their heart feel better, and they can justify why they watch the sport that they claim to love, This sport is a nasty sport. It is what it is. It is a rough and tough sport, and it's not cut out for everybody. And sometimes people find out when they get in there, hey, I'm not cut out for this, Some people are athletes that go into it, and then they find out real quick, I'm an athlete, not a fighter. And then some people are fighters. Well, guess what? Renato Moicano, he proved to you he's a fighter. He's a fighter. And he had, and these fighters, these participants, they earn the right through their training, through their sacrifice, their discipline, their dedication to their craft, to show you that they are fighters. They've earned that right to prove that in that cage, and that's what he did. Even though he lost every motherfucking round, for you to turn around and try to strip him of his ability to finish out that fight, I don't like it. It's not good. Not good. And as for RDA, real quick, this is where the imagination comes in for the negative side too, because Renato had the imagination of, I could possibly win. But for RDA, he went out there and he even admitted after the fight, I started taking it easy on him because I felt bad. I thought the doctor should have stopped the fight. I didn't want to hurt the guy anymore. But guess what, RDA? Renato Moicano, if he had the chance, he would have took your head off. If the opportunity came, and it almost did, he would have pounded your unconscious head into the mat without hesitation. And you can't let that happen. You can't go in there, I'm a hold back, and the other guy's thinking, I'm a elbow him in the temple if I get the opportunity. You know what I mean? No. Because you're not gonna play me like that. That's just my 2 cents. And that's pretty much it. I thought it was a great fight. And I think overall, big picture, imagination is the seed for any achievement to come to fruition.